Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I want to set up my hobonichi cousin for the second part of the year, as I am using the cousin avec, where they divided the planner into two books. But first, I want to give you a tour of the first half of the cousin first to talk about what's been working and what hasn't been. It has the 2026 Moomin cover on it. I've been eyeing Hobonichi's cover collection for the past 3 years because I wanted to have the one perfect cover for me with designs that are intricate and colorful. This year I think has been the best collection in my opinion. It has the most designs that I like compared to previous collections. However, I'm gonna be honest, I still don't completely love this cover. I really debated on whether to get this cover or not because though the designs are intricate and very detailed, it is accompanied by a dark background and I wanted a color one, but I also find the other options, the colorful covers options, their designs are a bit too simple for my taste. So even though I like the designs better this year, I feel like there is still no perfect hobonichi cover for me, but I've been waiting for too long. It's been 3 years, so I decided to just jump the gun with this one because I need a new journal for the year, and I will still be keeping an eye for future hobonichi's cover collection in case there's going to be a design that is going to be perfect for me and I really love. But for now, I quite like this one too. So inside I keep bits of ephemera, which is one of the reasons I needed a cover. Here is a picture of me and my friend, some washi dispenser, and here is the card that they gave us with the Moomin cover. I decided to stick it in here to be the focus point to welcome you into the journal. I also decorated some pages here. I also wrote my motto here, kind of. This was inspired by a passage from a book where the narrator talks about how you can see how people's experiences sat into their bodies. Like, you can see how a grandma has had an extensive life through her posture. Unfortunately, I forgot which book I got it from, but the passages really stuck with me because I also want to remember all my experiences. So, put that in there. And then this is the year page. I just noted down some notable dates for this year. And then for the year index, my plan for this page was to write down every time I spend my time outside in the outdoors surrounded by nature. But as you can probably tell, it's not going really well. While it is very empty right now, I do think the layout and like the format of this page has been working. Like, the reason it's empty is more due to real life factors. Like, I mean, this is the first time I've ever like committed to spend my time outside. Living in a Southeast Asian country, I've always preferred to be indoors because it's hot outside. But now this year I want to try to appreciate nature a little bit, I guess. But also another reason why it's still empty is because one of my plan to enjoy nature was to sit at a cute cafe while sipping some coffee, like being very aesthetics, you know. But in Indonesia, most of the outdoors are occupied by smokers, and I don't really like the smell of smoke. So like, and even in my own house porch, my neighbors whose house are attached to ours smoke quite a lot, so I also can't spend my time there. I mean, obviously I can work around it, like maybe sitting at certain hours of the day when my neighbors are not also outside, or going to big parks where I can sit far from other people and hide from the smoke. So, you know, it's not impossible, but because this is my first time ever doing something like this, I feel like there's so much friction that even if the problem can be easily circumvented, it still feels quite hard to actually do. I am hoping that I can amend this for the second part of the year though, so wish me luck. For the monthly pages, I just decorated them mostly, usually with items I've acquired throughout the month. This is one of the pages that I'm most proud of. I also sometimes wrote down notable events, like here was when I went to Japan. But there hasn't been anything that notable lately, so like for example this month I was just not having it. So mostly I just decorated them. And for my weeklies, I use them to keep track of tasks I need to do and habit tracker. I've been using the Pentel Matehop collection for the headings here. And I just love them so much. They're so vibrant and colorful, and I'm kind of dreading when they will run out, but we'll get there when we get there. I mean, technically one of my Pentel Matehop has already run out, but you know, I still have a lot, so I'm still, yeah. I really like the layout of this. I think it's working really well. However, I'm planning to change it because of another journal that I have. This hobonichi weeks actually. No, if you noticed, it says 2025, and it's because I actually acquired this last year and I used it as my faith journal. I didn't manage to completely fill it up, so I decided to use it again this year as like an experiment to make sure that the reason I couldn't fill it up last year was more due to real life factors and things happening and not because of the layout. So how the layout works, let's set this aside for now. So how the layout works, I would basically use this left side of the page to write a notable Quran verse that I've read that day. And for the right side of the page, mainly here, I will try to kind of compile all of the verses I read and see if I can see an overarching point. I would also write down some personal thoughts if I have some in here. This format was working quite well in the beginning, especially when I was consistently reading the Quran 3 times a week, like in this page. However, I soon realized that it has some problems, mainly the right side of the page, the overarching point. This works quite well if I'm just reading from the same surah for the whole week, but if not, it gets kind of hard to find a satisfying conclusion. Like, there were multiple instances where the conclusion was just like, be kind, have faith in God, which, I mean, it's a good point, but like, it's such a broad point. I feel like because I forced a conclusion out of unrelated surahs, it stripped away the specific meaning of the beautiful verses and the story and values that were told in the verses. And so it feels kind of pointless to write it at all, because I mean, I originally thought, I planned by writing the Quran verses that I've read, I can keep track of my Quran reading habits and appreciate the verses' beauty. But because the box is so small, I only got to write a small excerpt. And I will sometimes, like, just out of like all the verses that I've read, like for example here, I will like read 5 verses, but like I will choose the shortest one so I can fit one in here. And like, you know, it just, like, most of them just doesn't simply fit in the box. Like, I have to like write down the rest of the verses here. Like here I have to like put it here where I was supposed to like talk about like personal stuff. Like, it just wasn't working. And it also feels like, what am I doing? You know, like, I can't appreciate the verses properly that way. Like, it just become a glorified checklist and like habit tracker. I feel like I need more space to appreciate the verses and ponder on its meaning. And I have actually done that in the common placing part of this journal, in the blank pages. So not only is this my faith journal, I've also been using the blank pages on the back as a sort of commonplace. Like, I wrote some pages here for Surah Al-Maidah, and because I found another format to do the main purpose of the faith journal, I just put it in the commonplace. It meant that the faith journal that I used last year was no more. And so after thinking about it, I've decided to now try using the weekly format as the to-do list, because I've seen a lot of pictures on Pinterest of people using their hobonichi weeks that way, and they're always so cute, and I kind of want to try it for myself. Which is why I will have to change how I use the weekly page on my cousin. I will explain more on the change later. Now, moving on to the New Year's page, I've decorated them and made a little bingo for the year with some of my goals this year. I think it's been going pretty well. There are some things like writing a review here that I would have liked to cross by this time, but I think it's still pretty good progress, especially like considering this is my first time doing something like this. And also I feel like this year is like still a very tumultuous year for me. But yeah, I hope I can manage to fully cross them off at the end of the year. And the daily pages are, I would say, the meat of this journal. I'm using it primarily as memory keeping. So as you can see, I stick tons of ephemeras, like a map here. I mostly stick ephemeras related to that day. So here, like, I went to Otaru, and here's some stamps from Otaru and like a postcard from Otaru. And I got like a kind of little postcard brochure thing here. At this day, I went to this tower. I forgot the name of the tower. Umeda Sky Building. During this day. I also sometimes write down my feelings or a recap of what happened to if I'm in the mood for it. But why I say this is a memory keeping journal is because even when I journal, I don't really go for like the reflection, expressive journal where you put down your thoughts in writing as you reflect on it. Because I find that my hand got tired very quickly, and because of my years of trauma, writing notes and notes of pages in school, I don't really have the energy to write much anymore, which is a bit weird because I like writing, I like using my pens and stuff, but I find that I need to take lots of breaks in between to not hurt my hand and to not end up hating writing altogether. But that is why I can't really do like the expressive morning pages stream of consciousness style of journaling, because my hand is just too weak to write for like 3 pages or however many pages the morning ways are supposed to be. So usually if I wanted to reflect or ponder on something, I would use a different format. Like I would type it out, or I talk to myself in the mirror a lot, and so I will do that. And then after that, after like I've kind of worked through my feelings, I will actually write it down then in the journal as a recap of my ponderings to act like a memory keeping. But it's working really well for me. I don't know why, but I don't know, I just find the like recapping to be more to be less intimidating, like, because like if I'm like working through something, I want to write down everything that is going on through my mind, right? But like with the recap, I can basically just like summarize it, and it's like I don't have to write as much basically. Yeah. This is my first year with the Hobonichi cousin, and I was quite nervous to try it because it's quite expensive and I wasn't really consistent with my journaling before, so I was afraid that I would not fill it up, the journal, and waste it. However, surprisingly and fortunately, I think the cousin is the perfect journal for me. I mean, first up, the size. It's big enough because I can have a scrapbook or like junk journal in an A6. Those are just way too small. And the cousin is big enough, but it has this like, I don't know if I can find it here. Wait, like it has this like decorations that during the days I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, like in this page, it helped me not feel as intimidated because they fill up the page quite a bit. But the decorations is not that visible, that in days where I want to decorate, I can just ignore it, you know, like in here. Also, the grid size I think is really perfect too. I can write quite a lot in this one page if I wanted to. But again, if I'm not motivated to do that, the way the pages are organized, it's very calming to me, and I don't mind just writing 1 or 2 lines in the middle. I also found dated pages to be oddly encouraging because in the past I've only been using non-dated journals, and I would want every spread of that journal to be the most perfect and beautiful, and if I didn't feel up to the task, if I didn't feel like I could make it perfect, I would just end up not journaling because I want to preserve the beauty of the journal. And because it's undated, my first journal actually lasted me for like 5 years. But with this journal, because it's dated, if I miss a date, the date become practically worthless because I'm not gonna use this journal again for the next year, you know? I mean, I do use this again for this year, but like it's more because I'm like experimenting with it, you know? And so it ended up encouraging me to do things I wouldn't normally do, like this ugly ass drawings. Like I wouldn't have done this if I thought the journal was too precious, you know? Like I don't like drawing. I don't think I'm good at drawing, but it just kind of allowed, because this is like kind of wasted pages in my eyes, I can just kind of experiment with it and like feel free doing anything with it basically. I do have some tagged pages like this, and these are the pages that I'm saving to do in the future because I need something to complete it. So like this spread is meant to be my trip with my cousins to an amusement park, but I haven't printed out the photos yet, and so I'm just marking it for now. And yeah, it has been surprisingly satisfying journaling with the hobonichi cousin, especially realizing that my original motivation to try it out was because of Rainbow Holics video. And in the video, Rainbow Holics journal was like bursting, and at first I was like horrified, and I remember telling my friends about it, like, oh my god, like it looks like it's going to burst. But over time it kind of became like a fascination, like, oh my gosh, it's not bursting, like, and so it kind of became like a silly little fascination, and I tried out because of that fascination, and I'm really happy to report that, you know, it's actually been working really well for me. Like, I think I truly found the perfect journal in terms of memory keeping and scrapbooking for me, and I'm so happy. The extra pages, I wanted to write some movie reviews and shows and books reviews, but it's still empty, as you can probably tell from like the uncrossed bingo. I just haven't got the time to do it yet, but I am kind of like keeping track of like, oh, I want to write about Coraline and like John Mulaney's comedy stand-up Baby J. Yeah, I'm hoping they will be filled by the end of the year. Lastly, I stapled some sticker sheets to have a little sticker dispenser to bring with me on the go. And I have this paper trash can here that I made, and the hobonichi coloring sheet that they gave us with the journal. I haven't finished this yet because I'm drawing it with, coloring it, sorry, with the Pentel Met Top, and the Tosca color here actually ran out, so I'm kind of ignoring them that for now. And that is all from the first part of my hobonichi cousin. So now let's get ahead and decor the second part of the hobonichi cousin avec. And here I'm just decorating the first page, the focus point that will welcome me when I open the journal. I kind of rewrote my motto again, the lives in her posture. Yeah, I'm really obsessed with this concept, so I'm rewriting it again in this journal. And then I just decorated the surroundings of the page. And now I'm cutting more pages from my New Jeans Bunny Photo Club book thingy. I don't know, I just kept reaching it. It does make me miss New Jeans a little bit. I really hope they're okay, and I hope we can hear from them someday. And then here I am plotting for a new layout for my weeklies. As I said, I'm removing the to-do list, and so now it just has the habit tracker. Also, for my turning the page, I didn't want to paste down my bingo from the previous journal again. So I kind of leave this empty for now. I'm planning to add like a what's in my bag kind of spread, but I need to print pictures first to do that spread, so I'm just tagging it for now. Also, here's some daily journal and my media pondering title, and yeah, this is just my back pages and my new trash can. So this is how it looks like in the end. I mean, look at that size difference. It's insane. I'm kind of proud of it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.